MotoGP World Champion. The next 20 laps will tell us. We're in Sepang and we are ready to go.
Lights out in Malaysia. Good start from the second row by Valentino Rossi. A great start from pole by Dani Pedrosa. Marc Marquez got away pretty well too. Andrea Dovizioso's had a shocking start. And here comes Marquez up on the inside of Lorenzo. Marc Marquez has got the whole shot. He's come through from 7th to lead, but he's well wide. Now Zarco leads.
What a start by Marc Marquez from the third row of the grid. I think he's got back into second place, hasn't he? Past Dani Pedrosa. Any thoughts we had about that have gone. He's running second.
Contact between Rossi and Espargaro as they drop down into turn number 3. Zarco's gone off at the front like a scalded cat down into turn number 4 for the first time. Lorenzo runs a tight inside line. He's got up the inside of Marc Marquez. Lorenzo up into second place.
Dovizioso's currently running down in 5th place. Zarco at the front, Lorenzo, Marquez, Pedrosa, and here is Dovizioso right behind Dani Pedrosa as they go down. They splash through the waters through 5 and 6.
Valentino Rossi looked like he got a good launch off the line, and he obviously got mired in trouble at the first corner. Zarco through the first section. He's already 1.3 seconds clear. Dovizioso's found his way up the inside of Dani Pedrosa. He got an awful start on that run down the first corner of Dovizioso, but he's been aggressive in this first lap, picked up a few places. Zarco's lead, though, nearly 1.5 seconds.
And they come towards turn 9, this uphill hairpin. Confirmation, Dovizioso's got past Pedrosa, he's got Marc Marquez in front of him. Marquez will be very happy with that situation, but Zarco has gone away at the front.
Dovizioso was wide coming out of turn number 9, left the door open for Pedrosa to sweep through at turn number 10, so the place picked up by Andrea Dovizioso. He's already surrendered, but he fires straight back up the inside of Pedrosa. Brave at turn number 12, is he in wide again? He is.
Sweeping through the spray.
Pedrosa got around the outside of him.
Here he comes, though, back up the inside on Dovizioso. Pedrosa on the outside. It's going to be the left-hander coming up now. Pedrosa will he hold the advantage? They now come down that back straight, down towards turn 15. Zarco leads, Lorenzo second, Marquez third, Dovizioso, Pedrosa.
Rossi's had a nightmare first lap. Valentino Rossi started 4th, got a decent launch off the line. He's currently in 13th place, surrendered 9 places. Now Petrucci, who started at the back of the grids on the charge, he's already clawed his way back up into 14th place. Zarco leads in Malaysia. His advantage at the end of the first lap, 1.5 seconds.
Up into turn 1. What a start by Zarco. He's won here for the last 2 years in the Moto2 category.
Marquez went gung-ho, did he? Got a fantastic start from that third row. Got the whole shot, but went into turn 1 too hot. Taking risks from the get-go, the reigning world champion.
Well, we rode then with Marquez in his faces. Andrea Dovizioso, he'll be very happy if this situation remains the same. It's a bit of a different story now with Marquez making such a good start. Zarco chasing that first ever MotoGP win. As we say, has won here 2 times the last 2 years in MotoGP. Lorenzo, we know, very good at the start, good in the wet. Was a mistake at Mazzano, and he probably would have won that race. Though Marc Marquez went on to win. There is Marquez, nicely ensconced in 3rd place. His only danger man behind him.
One of the big movers has been Bradley Smith early on the KTM. He's had a fantastic first lap and a half. Smith started 16th. There he is. He's already up into 7th place. The factory Yamahas, as we've expected or we've seen before this year, struggling in the rain conditions. Nightmare. Rossi 11th from 4th, and Maverick Vinales, who started 1 place behind him in 5th, he's dropped back down to 13th.
There is Bradley Smith in front of Alex Rins, Andrea Iannone. Scott Redding not made a bad start either. Scott Redding actually has moved up a place now in front of Iannone.
Yeah, Rossi making no impression. He's still in 11th place. He's just been actually taken by Loris Baz as well. So Rossi really suffering, as is Vinales. When you get mired down the pack as well, his visibility becomes a problem with all the spray. Zarco continues to streak away in front of this Malaysian Grand Prix. His advantage over Lorenzo now as we come to turn 14 on the second lap. 1.8 seconds the gap.
On the back straight, 6 gear, around 320, 330 kilometres an hour. Then down through those seamless gearboxes into turn 15. There is Dovizioso closing up on Marquez. What do you do in this situation? Do you try and make Marquez make a mistake? Do you get right behind him and try and push him along a little?
Oh, you've got to try and attack him and get underneath him and try and break away from him. At the moment, Marc Marquez is in the pound seat. Marquez knows that while he's getting number 4 in his pitbull behind him, he's going to be the world champion. And Marquez last time around was the quickest man on track, 2 tenths faster than your race leader, Johann Zarco.
There you go, 36 points would be the gap, and with 25 points up for grabs in Valencia, it doesn't take a lot of working out that Marc Marquez would retain the world title. Never say never though in MotoGP. There's still a long, long way to go. You're absolutely right about Bradley Smith, Matt. Where has this come from? He's now running in 6th place on the KTM in the wet.
Well, he's been super aggressive. There's a big freight train building up behind him as Rossi gets up the inside of Andrea Iannone on the brakes in the turn number 4. So that's Rossi back into 10th place now.
It's too much though, I would think, for Rossi, even Rossi, to catch those men at the front in these conditions and be involved in such a pack. It was a really, really difficult start for the man that's won here 6 times. Here comes Scott Redding up the inside of Rins, right behind Bradley Smith. So Scott Redding has now moved up into 7th place, Bradley Smith running in 6th. We watch the leaders come up towards turn 9.
Yeah, you know, he's struggling a little bit out there. He's been passed on this lap by Marquez and by Rossi rather, and Polispargaro.
Rins back up the inside of Scott Redding at turn 9, where he does hold the advantage. They flick it right up through 10.
Dani Pedrosa's dropped right back off the back of this battle of the third between Marquez and Dovizioso. He was 6 tenths slower last time around, Pedrosa, so the rain conditions, you'd imagine already Dani Pedrosa struggling, even though he's got that soft Michelin rear rain tyre on, just finding the lack of grip a bit of a major issue.
Well, I tell you what, guys, all the riders that were hoping for it to dry out, they are not having the best luck. It is raining still, very likely, but this track is certainly going to stay wet for a while.
Oh. How is that going to change things? Zarco leads, Lorenzo second, Marquez coming under real pressure now from Andrea Dovizioso, who rode here quite brilliantly in the rain a year ago. Also rode quite brilliantly in the rain 2 weeks ago at Motegi in Japan.
So Lorenzo set the fastest lap of the race at 2:14.947. He took 3 tenths back last time around on Johann Zarco. Zarco, the only man in that top 4 that we know has got that soft rear rain tyre on, so that could be absolutely crucial. Setting this electric pace at the front, is he just over-abusing it? Is he just going to run into a few grip issues late on? If the track certainly starts drying out, we may have a few issues as the race drags into the final stages.
As we said before, Lorenzo only has finished off the podium here once in the MotoGP class, but he's never actually won the race. He has won a couple of 250cc races here, as has Zarco in Moto2. He's won here for the last 2 years. So brilliant start by the Frenchman. It just emphasises what a superb MotoGP rookie season he has had. But this is Lorenzo at his best, isn't it?
Yeah, Lorenzo's taken a little bit more time out of Zarco through the first sector on this lap number 4. It's down to about 1.3 seconds. Dovizioso hounding and pressurising Marc Marquez, but just can't find his way through.
Just looking at the track conditions, the difficulty here, and all the riders will tell you, is that because of the colour of the surface here, it's difficult to tell where it's wet and where it's drying. But as Dylan said, with the rain still coming down, it's not drying in any way at all. And Dovizioso, as try as he might, he's not really making an impression on Marquez, is he?
Yeah, the problem is, Nick, that even though if he finds his way through on Marc Marquez, it's not enough. And the problem for Dovizioso is he's got nobody behind him trying to bring the fight to Marquez as well. He needs bikes between himself and Marc Marquez. If Dovizioso takes this 3rd place from Marc Marquez, it will still be immaterial. It won't be enough for him. As Dovizioso finds way up the inside at turn 14. Brilliantly done then by the Ducati man. He's up into 3rd place.
Dovizioso up into 3rd. Marquez would still be the world champion. Now, can Jorge Lorenzo come into play here, Dovizioso's teammate?
Well, Dovizioso's got to win. He's got to get in front of Johann Zarco. And he's wide. He's well wide. And Marquez will say thank you very much.
They touched.
They were so close to touching. He got it wide there and cut it back with Andrea Dovizioso. Marquez on that inside line. Lorenzo again is the fastest man on the circuit with a 2:14.7.
How frustrating is that for Andrea Dovizioso? He's done all the hard work. He's done the first part of the jigsaw. It's a long, long way to go. And then suddenly finds himself back where he was previously. He's working really hard now to get past Marquez. That move is going to come very soon indeed. They're coming to turn 3 at the bottom of the hill. Will he have a nibble at the top of the hill at turn 4? Is he close enough?
So even if Dovizioso takes second from Lorenzo and Marquez stays 4th, that's only 7 points back. That's not enough. He's got to find a way to get to the front. He's got to find a way to hunt down Zarco. He's picked off Marc Marquez at turn number 4, so he's charged towards the front. Commences again then with Dovizioso.
Well, Marquez knows as long as he can stay on his back wheel, the championship is still coming his way. This is turn 15, just gets in there too hot. How many times have we seen that at Sepang? And he pulls back across.
It's close, very, very close. Dovizioso, they call him the professor, and he'll know very, very easily what the maths are.
Far better than us.
Excellent. He's got to somehow find a way to get into the lead of this race. If he was to win, hunt down Lorenzo and Zarco, and Marc Marquez was 4th, then we would be going to a final round showdown. Sam Lowe's the Malaysian Grand Prix over. The British riders crashed out. He was circulating down in 19th place. He has actually rejoined the race.
Full marks to Scott Redding. He's now in the 6th place, ridden 7th, Baz 8th, and Baz is good. And Bradley Smith down to 9th place. Lawrence Baz finished 5th here last year in these wet conditions.
Whatever Maverick Vinales found in that wet warm-up in Phillip Island last weekend, he was 4th actually in FP2 on Friday. We thought the wet weather gremlins for Yamaha had been completely evaporated, but no, Maverick Vinales at the moment outside the points. He's way down in 16th place. Last time around he was 2.5 seconds slower than Johan Zarco, also on a Yamaha.
We ride with Marc Marquez down into turn 15.
Dovizioso's got time. That's the one thing on his side in this race. He has got the time. Just got to keep his calm and his composure, which we know he's brilliant at doing that. Zarco, though, has just fired in the fastest lap of the race, beaten straight away there by Dovizioso. Dovizioso's got his rhythm here. 2:14.163 from Dovizioso, the fastest lap of the race. He was able to eke out 7/10 on Marc Marquez last time around. The gap between Zarco and Dovizioso, 2.5 seconds on lap 6.
Well, his next object, obviously, is to get past their teammate, Lorenzo, which will not be easy. Marc is quite happy at the moment of just hanging on his rear wheel.
You do wonder what Ducati may be communicating. There is on-board communication. Oh, Alex Rins has crashed. Alex Rins is out of the Grand Prix. He'd actually just gone up into 6th place. So Alex Rins had a truly brilliant ride to 5th in the rain conditions in Japan 2 weeks ago. He's had a tumble at turn 1.
Here we go, coming into turn 1 on the Suzuki. From a double podium finisher here in Moto3, Alex Rins.
I mean, remember last weekend in Australia, Scott Redding told us that he was told not to engage in a fight with Andrea Dovizioso further down the field. Will Ducati be telling Jorge Lorenzo on his dashboard the same thing? Will they try and make sure that Lorenzo does not engage in a dogfight with Andrea Dovizioso?
But just a very quick word on Sam Lowe's. He came back into pit lane, but his team essentially did a flag to black for him. He had it. His second bike was prepared for wet, so Lowe's back on track now.
Many thanks, Dylan.
Oh, there's a faller there. Somebody's down. That looks like one of the Briade Avinci Ducatis. It may have been definitely one of the Avinci Ducatis. I'm not sure if it was Loris Baz or Hector Barbara.
Valentino Rossi moves Baz.
It was Baz.
Oh, what a shame. Goes so well in the wet. Valentino Rossi eases his way past Bradley Smith and is now up into 10th place. There he is.
It's a shame because Loris Baz, so we've seen in quick succession 2 riders tumble out of the top 10, Alex Rins and now Loris Baz.
Still a long way to go. Is there going to be a final twist in the tail at this penultimate round of the MotoGP World Championship? As we stand at the moment, the man at the back here, number 93, would be crowned the 2017 MotoGP World Championship. We've learned this season, we've learned in most seasons, just to wait and see what happens, because it can change so quickly, especially in these conditions.
Yeah, last time around, fastest man on track by a big margin was this man, Jorge Lorenzo. He was 6/10 of a second faster than Johan Zarco. I wouldn't want to be Ducati telling Jorge Lorenzo to pull aside the team orders if he could win his first Grand Prix for Ducati in terms of the championship. It might all, of course, all be immaterial.
There you go. Quite a difference between those 2 laps, nearly 6/10 of a second, and Lorenzo is hunting down Zarco at the front. 30 points, live championship standings.
Yeah, Dovizioso needs 6 points to take the fight to Valencia, which means he's got to somehow conjure up a way of not only closing down Lorenzo and Zarco, but then finding a way through on them. That is not going to be an easy task because Zarco and Lorenzo at the front of this race so far have been absolutely faultless, picture perfect, the pair of them.
It's under a second now, the gap between Zarco at the front and Lorenzo. Both of them are double intermediate class champions, aren't they? 250cc obviously for Lorenzo. Zarco, the double motor 2 champion. Here they are at turn 9.
Yeah, this will be his third win in a row here in Malaysia, wouldn't it, for Johan Zarco? Back-to-back wins in Moto2 in 2015 and 2016. Won the championship here last year. Very emotional podium celebrations from the Frenchman.
Chasing his first ever victory in his first season, in his 17th MotoGP race. Remember that first race of the season in Qatar where he led for the first 6 laps before he crashed? I think we realised then we were seeing something pretty special. Lorenzo's hunting him down. Lorenzo has got a sniff of victory in his nostrils, but his teammate Andre Dovizioso needs his help.
So down in the turn 15.
Sí, pero muy poco, pero parece que no se va a fijar.
Zarco then 1.1 seconds. He is still clear of Lorenzo as they come to finish lap number 7. Dovizioso looks like he's opened up a bit of daylight between himself and Marc Marquez. G4, that means Group 4 to in that lead group. They're telling Johan Zarco as Dovizioso fires in the fastest lap of the race. Andre Dovizioso in 3rd place, the first man into the 2:13s at 2:13.969. He's a second behind his teammate Lorenzo.
This is Lorenzo through 2, now 3, the fast right-hander at the bottom of the hill. Dovizioso has opened up a little bit of a gap on Marquez. It's not the easiest situation for Marquez. Obviously, he knows exactly where he stands championship-wise, but he doesn't want too much to happen in front of him that could change that situation. He's got to pick up 6 points from somewhere, hasn't he?
Can you imagine a scenario on the last lap with Lorenzo leading and Dovizioso second with Marquez 4th? The only way that
the Ducati team out on the track trying to slow him up.
I mean, it could happen. It could be a serious conundrum. We laugh about it now, but it could be a massive, massive conundrum. The only way that Ducati potentially, at the end of this race, could be still in the fight for the World Championship, one they've not won since Casey Stoner 10 years ago, that scenario may yet occur, because Dovizioso is streaking away here from Marc Marquez. Marquez is struggling to go away with his top 3 now.
There's Zarco, Lorenzo, as you can see. And then, of course, Dovizioso and Marquez at the back of that group, just dropping off that group a little bit. This is the start. What a start. Look at 93. There he comes from the 3rd row of the group. Keep an eye out for Marquez. Like a knife, a hot knife through butter. You can't believe it. He's actually going to lead, but of course he does get in there a bit hot. Lorenzo's get back up the inside, as does Zarco. But Marquez comes through in 3rd place. It wasn't Lorenzo, even it's Pedrosa. And at the next bend, he went past Pedrosa.
Yeah, this was Johan Zarco, who got a brilliant start. Lorenzo got away. Well, Dovizioso fluffed this start. And look at Marc Marquez. Dive bombing up the inside. He got the whole shot, but he ran wide. He picked up Lorenzo as well. This allowed Zarco to sweep up the inside of both the Spaniards. There he goes. And since this point in the race, nobody has been able to show Johan Zarco a front wheel. Dovizioso is really piling on the pressure here. Andre Dovizioso, as we watch this replay of the race start, has just fired in yet another fastest lap of the race in 2:13.584. 4/10 of a second quicker he was than Lorenzo last time around. The gap now between Dovizioso and Lorenzo, just 6/10 of a second, and more crucially, the gap between Dovizioso and your racing of Johan Zarco is down to a second, and Marc Marquez is really, really struggling. Dovizioso knows if he can get ahead of these 2 in front of him, the championship rolls on to Valencia.
This championship just never disappoints you, does it? And this is another superb race. What a situation we find ourselves in. Zarco chasing his first ever MotoGP win. Lorenzo chasing his first win on the Ducati. Dovizioso chasing his 6th win. He really has to win this race to stop Marc Marquez in 4th place.
Yeah,
clinching the title.
Lorenzo now right on the rear tyre of Johan Zarco. Is Johan Zarco already suffering with that Michelin soft option rear rain tyre, because Lorenzo has been able to hunt him down, and Lorenzo's going for on the brakes at turn number 9. Is he through? Yes, he is. Lorenzo then leads for the first time.
Jorge Lorenzo leads the Malaysian Grand Prix here in Sepang. Zarco tries to find back, but he puts a bit of tarmac between himself and the Frenchman. Now, all eyes are on Dovizioso in third place. What can he do about it? He's closing up on Zarco also.
Yeah, I think Zarco's running out of grip. Karena Marc has crashed out, so we're going to be in the fascinating and intriguing situation here, where Jorge Lorenzo will be leading the Malaysian Grand Prix. Zarco is really struggling. Dovizioso to a turn number 14. Dovizioso up in the second place. 1 place away from the crucial win he desperately needs.
Time they come towards turn 15. Lorenzo leads. His teammate, championship contender Dovizioso in second place. Zarco third. All Marc Marquez can do at the moment is look at this pit board and see what is happening in front of him.
Sam Lowe just crashed down the game by the looks of it, and he's rejoined again. Lorenzo fires in the fastest lap of the race, 2:13.375. Marquez doing everything he can to go with this top three. He's put in his personal best lap of the race, a 2:14.156.
26 points and a bit of a moment there for Dovizioso. 26 points it would be. That would be enough for Marquez to take the title by a single point.
Well, I've got to mention now we're into this situation in this Malaysian Grand Prix, the dreaded 2 words, team orders.
I'll be honest with you, Dylan, come on, down to pit lane, help us. Will there be team orders?
I almost think it's pretty obvious, of course.
Yeah, they've got to be.
You know, you've got to give these team orders. You are ultimately still winning as a team. You know, they don't want Marquez to take the title just to give Jorge a win.
Yeah, they'll have to, if this carries on, try and get Jorge Lorenzo to yield if he's still leading. We don't want to see it. We want to see a straight shootout. Dovizioso will not want to have Jorge Lorenzo pull alongside and let him swing through. It's intriguing how the Ducati are going to call this one, because they are surely not going to let Marc Marquez wrap up the World Championship. 2 crashes for Sam Lowe, 2 crashes now for Alex Rins.
Certainly a good few riders have been called out in the conditions, not these at the front. There is Zarco in third place. Marquez now has just got to stay in a safe fourth place and start, well, once they start thinking about the race in Valencia, because as we stand at the moment, he is the world champion by a single point. Dovizioso is very, very simple. He's got to get past his teammate Jorge Lorenzo to go into the final round of this 18-round World Championship, with still having a chance of taking the title.
And Ducati have spent millions. They've taken so much flack down the years after the glory days, the halcyon days of Casey Stoner in 2007. Here they are still fighting for a chance to lift the 2017 MotoGP World Championship, but Dovizioso has got to find a way through with his teammate Jorge Lorenzo, otherwise it's game over here in Sepang.
There is 10 electrifying laps left here in Sepang. There are the 2 Ducatis into turn 1. Just got a glimpse also there of Zarco.
Sam Lowe is back in after 2 crashes. This is a scenario that Ducati would have planned for. They would have talked about it. They would have had meetings. They would have envisaged this scenario occurring. They would not want it. There is Sam Lowe. They're down at turn 1. Not quite able to perform the heroics that Marc Marquez did in the dry in FP4 yesterday.
In very similar position, Marc Marquez somehow kept the Honda upright. Well, the helicopter shot tells us all really now. It's all about Ducati.
Yeah.
Is it all about team orders? Because Zarco's going to be just fighting now to take another podium, well, the second podium finish in MotoGP. Marquez will have to settle for that 4th place.
The 2
What's
Ducatis
happening at the front will decide if we go to Valencia with the title still in the balance.
But guys, do bear in mind, Marquez has that medium wet tyre on there. Zarco's got the soft, as we were told by Michelin, maybe 4 or 5 laps before the end, that soft tyre could drop off quite significantly.
If Marquez passes Zarco, though, and Dovizioso wins, and the championship does still go on. So it's crucial. Dovizioso has to win.
He has to win.
He has to win.
But in this situation, where Marquez or anything else, he has to win the race, doesn't he?
Yeah, that's it. Ducati potentially have got probably the biggest management call they've ever had to make coming up very, very shortly here in Malaysia.
The phone's just ringing in the back of the pit box. So can you take a reverse call from a Bologna, please?
Zarco is suffering. He has burnt up that soft option rear tyre as he can't go with the pace of the Ducati men in front of him, dropping back as well into the clutches of Marc Marquez. 26 points to gap, that's the live championship. Marc Marquez, as it stands right now, is going to be lifting the 2017 MotoGP World Championship.
This is Zarco trying to nurse that Tech 3 Yamaha home to a podium finish.
Lorenzo has just fired in the fastest lap of the race at 2:13.226.
He surely will slow at some point, won't he? I would think he's got to. But boy, Lorenzo.
Well, I mean, Ducati at the end of the day are damned if they do, they're damned if they don't.
No, that's right.
Nobody would like it if we do see team orders to keep the championship rolling. But if they didn't, they're going to be so heavily criticised for saying, well, why did you not have team orders to keep Dovizioso in the championship? They're between a rock and a hard place, aren't they? Look at Zarco, rather. He was getting massive wheel spin as he got on the gas coming out of turn number 4. Zarco's obliterated that soft rear tyre, and he's still got 8.5 laps to nurse it home.
Right, let's have a look quickly. Lorenzo Dovizioso, Zarco Marquez, and Pedrosa Petrucci, Reading, Pole,
look at that, the replay. We talked about Zarco having rear tyre problems. Well, this was massive. Out of the seat at turn 3. Here we go. Oh, yeah, there you go. And he had another warning as well at turn number 4. Alex Rins has been black flagged. So I guess he's got some kind of mechanical issue, or he's been black flagged though. He has had 2 crashes, trying to continue, but he's going to be disqualified from this race. He's got to come out of the pits, Alex Rins. Dylan?
Alex Rins got disqualified because he came back in by the shortcut.
Thanks, Dylan.
Many thanks, Dylan. Marquez is there, ready to pick off Johan Zarco to take 3rd place. Actually, at the front, it doesn't make that much difference because Dovizioso has to win this race to stay in the title hunt.
What's the gap then between Zarco and Marquez? 1.4 seconds, and Marquez himself has a moment as he got on the power coming out of turn 14. You can see Marquez as well. Look at the wheel spin he's getting. He was bolt up right there. He was getting wheel spin on the gas coming down of turn 14. 2 moments there to Marquez himself. Even though he's got that medium rear tyre in, you can see he's encountering some pretty severe tyre wear.
And that would be the disaster of all disasters, wouldn't it? If he crashed out, then the championship would be very, very different indeed.
Dovizioso now, Lorenzo and Dovizioso are trading fastest laps of the race. It's now honours to Dovizioso with a 2:13.222. 8 to go here in Sepang. This was the moment for Marquez through turn 14. His left foot will be off the peg. Oh, I'll tell you what, that was potentially a disastrous situation for Marc Marquez. Can you imagine if Marquez goes down?
Oh. And Dovizioso won the race, we'd be talking 8 points. Yeah. Here they are up at turn 4.
Got to say, this has been brilliant by Dovizioso to try and keep the championship alive. He's riding under so much pressure. He knows one mistake could be so costly. Talk about treading a tightrope, Dovizioso. He's just doing a magnificent job under the most intense pressure ever.
It's a great ride by Danilo Petrucci. From the back of the grid, he now finds himself up in 6th place. Good ride also by Scott Redding, his teammate just behind him.
The factory Yamahas are having another dismal day in the grey and gloomy conditions here in Malaysia. They're 2 seconds off the pace. Shocking. Rossi's not at 8th. He's just put in a personal best lap of the race, Rossi. It was a 2:15.2, exactly 2 seconds slower than these 2 men, Lorenzo and Dovizioso. There's been no miracle cure for the factory Yamahas in the rain conditions because Maverick Vinales is 13th. He's also 2 seconds off the pace.
We ride with Jorge Lorenzo, chasing that first win for Ducati. Danilo Petrucci, mechanical problems, had to go out on his 2nd bike from the back of the grid. I think they'd be glad that happened because he'd have been right up there with the leaders in these conditions if he'd have had his #1 bike and had started higher up.
Well, I think since we returned from the summer break in Brno, Jorge Lorenzo's had to field incessant questions about team orders and that thorny issue of team orders as Rossi tries to find a way through the inside of Scott Redding, no way through. And every time Jorge Lorenzo's been asked, he's had the exact same answer. I will help Dovizioso in Valencia if he indeed does need my help. Well, we're about to find out if that strategy's going to change.
2 weeks early, aren't we?
Rossi did find his way through the non-Scott Redding. Again, Lorenzo and Dovizioso exchange. Fastest laps of the race. Dovizioso again, the marginally faster with a 2:13.084, but he can't get within half a second of Jorge Lorenzo. Lorenzo standing firm right now. And Zarco, despite all of his rear grip issues, has somehow managed to fire in a 2:14.021. His best lap of the race. That's keeping Marc Marquez at bay. No way through as yet for Marquez. He's 1.7 seconds back of the Frenchman.
Yeah, he's had one big scare, hasn't he, Marquez? 4th place, yeah. Not what he would have wanted, but it will do. Doesn't want to lose that 25 points. Gigi Dillini. The man behind the Ducati success looks on. What have they planned in this scenario? Because don't kid yourself, they have talked this out, haven't they? This is not something they hadn't thought about previously, I'm sure of that. What will the message be on Jorge Lorenzo's dashboard?
Well, what we want to avoid any of that scenario is just for Andrea Dovizioso to pick up his pace and pass him, and then we've got a fair straight shootout.
This is Dovizioso.
Medium for Dovizioso. No obvious signs of any significant wear on that front tyre.
Well, that's the gap, as you can see from the helicopter shot. There is Zarco, there is Marquez. I think that particular battle, I won't say is over, but Zarco certainly has repelled Marquez. Marquez had a big moment coming into turn 14. I think it was a big reminder to him.
He just can't get the gap down to the half second of it, so Jorge Lorenzo, we know, in his previous years at Yamaha, when he's got clear track in front of him, he's one of the best riders at managing the race from this situation.
7 laps to go when they come through. Sorry, it'll be 6 laps to go when they come through turn 15.
He's taken 0.3 of a second outside of Dovizioso Lorenzo in that 3rd sector on this lap number 14. Lorenzo is actually increasing the gap. He's not coming down. Dovizioso over the line. Again, Lorenzo, his fastest lap of the race, a 2:13.148. It was 0.4 of a second faster than Andrea Dovizioso, and out of nowhere, the gap has gone up to 1 second.
What is going through Jorge Lorenzo's mind? What has he got planned for these 6 laps? Zarco and Marquez, the only other 2 riders across the line, and Danny Pedrosa crosses in a 5th place. Danilo Petrucci 6, Valentino Rossi 7. Should be Scott Redding. No, Scott Redding now is being pushed back to 9th by Jack Miller.
Well, there was a team communication from Ducati just telling Jorge Lorenzo to change maps. That'll probably go into a softer power map just to try and make sure he's still got a bit of tyre life. Will we see team communication, or will there be? We probably won't see it.
I don't think.
Will there be on Jorge Lorenzo's dashboard a communication from this man, or maybe even higher back in Bologna from Claudio Domenicali, to tell Jorge Lorenzo to roll out of it and let Andrea Dovizioso win this Malaysian Grand Prix? Because if he stays as is, Marc Marquez is the 2017 MotoGP World Champion.
5.5 laps to go here in Malaysia. They're at turn 9. This is Dovizioso. He has tried all he can to close the gap on Jorge Lorenzo, but as you can see, he has made little impression on Lorenzo at the front.
Zarco's got Marquez covered in 3rd place. Zarco is riding a brilliant race. His tyres have come back to him, 2:13.753. That's his fastest lap of the race. He was half a second quicker than Marquez last time around. Marquez now over 2 seconds adrift to Johann Zarco.
Little bit of light there for Dovizioso. He has pulled back about 0.2 of a second on Lorenzo as they race down now towards turn 15. When they cross the line, there will be 5 laps to go.
Yeah, and off in the distance you can see Marc Marquez. He'll be looking down that back straight and still seeing Dovizioso in 2nd place, and knowing that he will be the world champion unless Andrea Dovizioso can somehow find his way through on his teammate Jorge Lorenzo. The gap down to 0.7 of a second. Dovizioso, the marginally quicker man last time around. 5 to go here in Malaysia. 5 absolutely monumental laps for Ducati and for Andrea Dovizioso, and for Jorge Lorenzo too. Will he be willing to give up that first victory to keep Dovizioso in title contention?
Through turn 3, the 2 Ducatis. up the hill to 4. We ride with Dovizioso. That is Lorenzo in front of him. So they break up the hill, the right-hander, turn 4. 4 3/4 laps to go. Is the championship going to be decided this afternoon here in Malaysia, or will we have to wait another 2 weeks when we arrive at Valencia in Spain? He is now beginning to cut down that advantage. He's got it down to nearly half a second.
Just the situation the Ducati probably feared being in. They'll be praying that Dovizioso can just find his way through on Lorenzo and streak away to win this race. They will not want the contentious and controversial issue of team orders to come in to this World Championship, but they're trying to win the World Championship, so what do they do? Surely they must, if Lorenzo is leading on that last lap, tell him to yield. Otherwise, they're throwing the title away.
4.5 laps to go. We're up through turns 11 and 12. Lorenzo gap now just under 4/10 of a second. We come into 13 and 14 onto the back straight. Dovizioso closing. Is Lorenzo perhaps just slowing? We really do not know. We do not know what Lorenzo has been told before the start of the race to do. Lorenzo down that back straight into 15. What will the gap be? He actually pulled a little bit back, a 10th of a second in that third sector. What will the gap be when they go over the line?
Oh, Lorenzo's wide. Lorenzo is out wide. Lorenzo then was wide at turn number 15. Dovizioso will come on the line. Will he lead the Malaysia Grand Prix? A potential, crucial, pivotal moment in the 2017 MotoGP World Championship. Dovizioso leads, and right now we're heading to a final round showdown between Dovizioso and Marquez in Valencia.
Turn 15 has done it once again. Let's just watch. That's not deliberate, is it?
He was nearly down.
He got nearly off. That was definitely not anything to do.
Anybody questioning whether the Lorenzo just let him through? Well, absolutely no way. Lorenzo was nearly on the floor. He lost the front in the middle of turn number 15. Drama late on here. We've had so much drama already in this 2017 MotoGP World Championship. Dovizioso then now. What's Lorenzo going to do? Will he engage? Will he fight back?
I cannot believe he would fight back and cause Dovizioso problems. 21 points would separate Dovizioso and Marquez in the championship going into round 18, but we still have 3.5 laps remaining on this amazing Malaysian Grand Prix. Well, we don't have to question team orders because Lorenzo so nearly went, didn't he?
You've got to think though now that surely, we probably won't see it, but surely the Ducati have got to have sent a communication to him saying, now do not engage in combat, in close combat with Dovizioso. As it stands then, it's still Marc Marquez will be in the box seat going to Valencia in 2 weeks' time. What will need to happen in Valencia if he stays as is? Dovizioso will need to win the race in Valencia. Marc Marquez will have the DNF. Highly unlikely scenario, but as Nick Harris always famously says in MotoGP, I'll leave you to it, Nick.
Never say never. Well, you just got to give enormous credit to Dovizioso. He must be kicking himself, not at this actual moment, about Phillip Island. If we'd had a decent result at Phillip Island, it would have been a very different story. Into 15 they came. This is where Lorenzo so nearly went down on the previous lap. We have a look at Marc Marquez. Well, he probably knows what the situation is now.
I think he had a good long look at the big screen there to check on the situation. They know that this is going to be the biggest win of Dovizioso's career. He's had some big wins this year, 5 Grand Prix victories so far. Straight away, once he hit the front of Dovizioso, he was able to eke out 9/10 of a second on his teammate Lorenzo. You just wonder as well, Nick, whether that mapping change that came into Lorenzo, just how much that did soften the power on that Ducati.
He crashed, didn't he, making a mapping change when he was leading the race in Misano in the pouring rain.
But, you know, a mapping change to try and keep life in that rear tyre would have definitely tamed and softened his power.
But it was, but he so nearly went, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was a mistake, no doubt about it.
Well, there's only one man that will stop Dovizioso winning this race at the moment, and that is
Look at that, you can see the red line under Dovizioso's knee slider is the mark left by Lorenzo's knee slider. That was Lorenzo. That big red line, what a super slow-mo shot that is. That big red line was Jorge Lorenzo's knee slider, desperately trying to pick up his Ducati after a massive front-end moment. Cracking super slow-mo, love that.
Dovizioso could win his 6th Grand Prix race of the season. He could, and I emphasise could, keep this World Championship open till the final round when we return to Europe and Valencia in 2 weeks' time. What a ride by Johan Zarco on that Tech 3 Yamaha. Softer option, choice of tyres, some big moments mid-race, but he's done a brilliant job.
He has. Marc Marquez has rolled out of this. Marc Marquez is doing 2:16s right now. He knows that he just can't afford to make a mistake. He's safe in 4th, nowhere near Zarco, a million miles clear of his teammate Danny Pedrosa, the pole man. The record for the pole wins here won't go on. The man who took pole here for the last 3 years in Sepang has gone on to win the race, Dylan.
Guys, this might not matter at this stage, but it is starting to rain now, and it's not a light rain, just something that might affect the riders out there.
Well, yeah, it's the absolute last thing that Andrea Dovizioso will want, really heavy rain, because you can see how heavy the rain is. And it's Danilo Petrucci leading the way from Valentino Rossi. This is a race for 6th place.
We're getting blitzed by air conditioning in this commentary box. My palms are still dripping wet through with tension and nerves. What it's like to be parked, to be closely involved with the Dovizioso Marquez camps, the Honda Ducati. Who knows? What drama and tension again here in Malaysia.
This is Jack Miller running in 8th place into turn 15. Keep a look at the top of the screen, the left of the screen. There is Dovizioso. Oh, his heart must be in his mouth. The concentration levels now must be, I don't know how much percent. Miller up towards turn 1. Behind him we have Vinales Bautista, Bradley Smith, Scott Redding, Hector Barber and Cal Crutch having a disappointing old ride. The final World Championship point. Good ride by Michael van der Mark, currently running in 16th place, just out of the points.
There's Maverick Vinales. Another humbling experience for the Spanish rider in rain conditions. He's in 10th place, locked in between his 2 fellow countrymen, Paul Espargo and Alvaro Bautista. Tough day at the office for Vinales and certainly Rossi in the rain conditions.
Dovizioso ploughs on at the front.
You've got to say, Nick, there's still an awful lot for Andrea Dovizioso to go his way in Valencia for him to win this World Championship. 21 points he will trail Marc Marquez, so he will have to win in Valencia and hope that Marc Marquez has another mechanical like he did in Silverstone, or Marc Marquez crashes out of the Valencia Grand Prix. Otherwise Marquez will be the world champion. At least we do get to go to the final round decider.
Through turn 12 up to 13, now 14 for Andrea Dovizioso, onto the back straight.
If it does go to Valencia for the final round, it will be the 5th time in MotoGP history. Rossi versus Hayden in 2006, Lorenzo versus Marquez in 2013, Lorenzo versus Rossi in 2015.
Dovizioso safely through turn 15. 1 lap to go, 5.543 kilometres, 3.44 miles between Dovizioso and his 6th victory of the season, and this without a doubt would be the most important of them all.
Lorenzo's not going to even try and engage, is he? He's not close enough anyway, he's 1.1 seconds back. Marc Marquez knows that the carver is going to have to go back in the ice bucket for at least another 2 weeks.
T-shirts have gone back in their boxes, haven't they?
Yeah.
But still a steady old ride into 4th place. He had one big scare, didn't he, up at turn 14. I'm sure that was enough for him to think, just don't chuck away any points here. Just keep steady. You know, still a very big gap, isn't it, when they did get into Valencia?
You're so right about Phillip Island as well, Nick. What a disaster that was. 22 points Andrea Dovizioso lost to Marc Marquez. That could be, in the final outcome in 2 weeks' time in Valencia, the key moment when we look back on the destiny of this 2017 MotoGP World Championship. It's only the 5th time Andrea Dovizioso in 75 finishes for the factory Ducati team he'd missed the top 10, but here he is 1 week later, keeping his hopes alive, keeping Ducati's hopes alive. It's not over yet.
Down through the gearbox, on the brakes into turn 9. Half a lap to go here for Andrea Dovizioso on the Ducati. So far, you've got to say, I don't want to put the curtain on him. It's been a fortress ride by him, isn't it?
It is absolutely lashing down with rain up at turn number 11. The rain has really started to pour down again at the conclusion of what's been a real nail-biting, nerve-jangling Malaysian Grand Prix. But it does look like we are going to Valencia for a straight showdown between Dovizioso and Marc Marquez to decide who is the 2017 MotoGP World Champion.
Onto the back straight for the final time. One bend remaining. The dreaded turn 50.
Dovizioso then on the brink of his 6th win of the season, arguably one of the most important of his Grand Prix career. The championship then will roll on to a final round showdown in Valencia.
Dovizioso wins his 6th Grand Prix victory of the season. It's crucial. It's kept the championship alive here in Malaysia.
Lorenzo takes 2nd place behind his teammate. A fantastic podium for Johan Zarco. He's in 3rd place. Marc Marquez then comes out to a lonely 4th place. Pat on the tank, job done as far as he's concerned. They know that they are still red-hot favourites to lift this 2017 MotoGP crown. 21 points they get to Valencia, clear of Dovizioso. The pole man, Danny Pedrosa, not his day. He finishes in 5th, just ahead of Danilo Petrucci. Great fight back.